Hey guys, it's Drummond. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button down there and turn on that notification bell so you know whenever I'm posting my next video. So today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about the fact that there are so many different ways that we can help fight the good fight against all the injustices that are facing the LGBT community, as well as other groups of people that are oppressed. I feel like a lot of people see the protests and they think that that is the only way that they're able to kind of help this movement push us forward into a better future. But I'm here to tell you that there are so many different ways that every single one of us can help move this movement forward. And the thing that I want to talk about in this video is the fact that when it comes to the gay section in bookstores or libraries, it's extremely small. I don't know if any of you guys have visited your bookstores in your local areas, but when it comes to the bookstores around me, the gay section kind of gets a shelf on an entire bookshelf, and it's in cultural studies, and honestly there are usually about 4 or 5 books there, and most of them are based around either the history or gay celebrities or transgenders, and I feel like that section in the bookstore really needs to be expanded. I myself am a book nerd, so I love reading books, and so many people have reached out to me about LGBT books that they think that I should read, and I have taken all of those suggestions in, as well as doing my own research and finding books that I enjoy. So one thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is the fact that yes, it is important for us to raise our voice and let people know that it is not okay to treat LGBT people any differently than they treat anybody else in this world. But there are ways that you can kind of silently make a difference, and one of those ways is donating books to your local libraries or maybe your school libraries, because I think it's really important when it comes to making change that we educate the youth and educate people in our communities. So for me, I live in a very rural area, so LGBT books cannot be found in our libraries. So one thing that I've been doing is, after I've purchased an LGBT book and read it and kind of gone through it, I don't mark in my books just because I'm one of those people that like to keep it very clean. So my books are in pretty good condition when I'm finished with them. So I've been actually looking for libraries that don't have that book, and I've been donating it to those libraries because I think it's important that the youth have access to books like that. So there are processes that libraries have to go through to add a book to their shelves, but I just wanted to bring attention to the fact that there are so many different ways that we can, as a gay community, move our communities forward. I'm one of those people that believe that moving to a big city, yes, it would be safer, and yes, I would be surrounded by more people that accept me for who I am, but when it comes to my lifestyle, I'm a type of person that loves being outdoors. So I want to be able to live in the more rural parts of the world, and I want the people around me to love and accept LGBT people, and that won't happen if we all run and escape to the cities. So I'm doing my best, and I think there are a lot of other LGBT people out there that live in rural areas that could be doing the same. So as you saw on the thumbnail, I had quite a pile of books, so I've actually got quite a few more. I've got boxes and shelves full of books. So one book that I most definitely have to promote is the one that I actually got to be on the cover of. So this is actually part of a series that is based around skin changers, or werewolves if you want to call them that. But I actually got to be the character Jason, who is featured on the cover of this book, which is really cool. It's a whole entire series, and the author and I are actually friends on Facebook now, and one day I'm going to get her to sign this book. But there are tons of other books out there that I think are very important when it comes to people educating themselves on the LGBT community. The Velvet Rage is one of the books that I fell in love with as soon as I read it, and I've recommended it to so many different people just because I think it gives you a great perspective of what it's like to grow up in a world where straight is default and being gay is different. And it kind of goes through the psychology of being gay in a straight man's world. And after I read this, I really realized that I myself have gone through so many different phases in my life, and even though I believe I'm at a point in my life where I really love who I am, but I do realize that after I read this book that there are a lot of things that I still am working on, just because growing up gay in a world where straight is the default, you end up living a life in a way that you're acting instead of just being your authentic self. 2 more books that I actually recommend are books that were written by people that I actually am friends with. So Vaughn actually wrote this book. I definitely recommend it. If you haven't read this already, go check it out. I'll leave a link down below so that you guys can get this book. I believe that he did a really good job writing this book because I don't really suffer with anxiety. I know that there are situations where anxiety kind of spikes, but I don't really suffer with it in the way that a lot of other people do. And the way that he wrote about his anxiety in this book actually made me feel like I could feel how intense his anxiety was. So he's definitely a really good author, so definitely check this book out. This book I have not read yet, but it is written by one of my friends, so I definitely recommend go checking this one out. I think it's really important that when our friends write something and put so much work into something that we support them in any way that we can. And a lot of times our friends will volunteer to give us books for free, especially since I'm an influencer and I kind of promote stuff like this across my channel. And a lot of times people will try to send stuff like this for me for free, but I am a believer in purchasing stuff from my friends because I believe my money couldn't go to anything better than helping my friends succeed. Another book that I think is really important for us as an LGBT community to read is White Fragility. So this book isn't really based around LGBT, but it is based around how white people are perceived in the world and how people of color are perceived in the world. I think it's really important that as a community we come together and educate ourselves and realize that even though we face prejudices for being LGBT, there are still people within our LGBT community that face even more prejudices because they are Black or Latino or Asian. And I think this book does a really great job at kind of pointing out some of the things that even I, as someone who believes that I stand up for everyone's human rights and for equality, I learned a lot from this book. And then of course we've got tons and tons of LGBT content creators on YouTube, as well as people all across the social media platforms, as well as Olympic ice skaters and actors. And I think it's really important that we kind of take notice of the books and stuff that they have written. I think a lot of these autobiographies are things that we as gay people can connect to. I know that when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of LGBT role models, and I kind of had to find my own path. And I think it's really cool that now there's tons of LGBT people out there writing books. I myself am trying to write a book which hopefully will be successful once I get that published. I know that when it comes to telling my story that there's a lot of people that can relate to it. But I also think that there are so many people out there, some people that are watching my channel right now, that have amazing stories that, if read by others, would really help and inspire people to go out there and live their true lives. And that's why I believe it's so important for us to get these books into our libraries and get these books into our schools. I know that sometimes the school systems will put up hoops for us to jump through, but I think it's really important that we jump through those hoops so that the younger generations have access to stuff like this. But that's all I've got for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this content, and if you've got any suggestions for ways to help push the LGBT community and the Black Lives Matter movement forward, please leave them in the comment section below. I love hearing from everyone that watches my videos, and I think that I can learn a lot from everyone. So definitely leave some comments. If you haven't already, make sure you check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I post a lot on those things. I'm usually really good at responding to people's stuff on Instagram. But hopefully you guys are having a great week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.